big news from Trump Media and Technology Group. That company reported a loss of more than $300 million in the first quarter and had minimal revenue. The company, most of which is owned by former President Donald Trump, faced scrutiny over its multi-billion-dollar valuation after the results. The loss of over $327 million was attributed to one-time losses related to the company's recent IPO, compared to a loss of $210,000 in the same period a year earlier. The company also cited non-cash expenses from the conversion of promissory notes and the elimination of previous liabilities as reason for the losses. Well, Trump Media reported an operating loss of $12.1 billion, partly due to one-time payments associated with its merger earlier in the year. Here's a live look at shares of DJT, that's the ticker symbol, Donald Trump's initials. Just about half of its recent high that we've seen, $46 a share, down 6% in the past 2 days. Dave, so much to talk about this company, especially as we head into election, but notably, a company, even with the losses, that still commands a $6 billion valuation, has minimal users, and is not making a lot of money.
It is a very strange company from an investor's perspective, and I think that's underlined by Matthew Kennedy from IPO market strategist at Renaissance. He said, "I can't emphasize enough how unusual it is for a company with this little revenue to have this high a valuation." In that regard, it almost feels sometimes like a meme stock.
Yes.
What is that $6.5 billion valuation? What are they seeing that we're not?
Right, and how could it potentially be impacted by campaigning during an election or even a presidency? So it's a story that we're going to stay on, but I think it's also worth noting when we come down to the numbers here, to add to those comments from Renaissance Capital, is 113,000 people use Truth Social. So this company owns Truth Social. Even within the social media space, it's
minuscule.
Exactly. Very, very small, and a company that wants to make money on ads and streaming, but obviously needs to show investors progress on that if the stock is to move on fundamentals.
So either investors are banking on Donald Trump returning to the White House and that growth that exploding the user base, which we haven't seen any indication of that happening, or as their CEO, Devin Nunes, the former congressman, said, "We're particularly excited to move forward with live TV streaming by developing their own content delivery network." Perhaps that justifies some form of $6.5 billion valuation. Not all of it, but maybe that's the long-term bet.
A future baked in, I would say, yes, for investors.